And we are live. This is a replay, restream of a live I was doing earlier in which I was incurred upon by the people that regularly harass me both offline and online. Matter of fact, there was an unwanted, unrequested piece of delivery done yesterday by Filthy Animal. So we're going to watch this and I'm going to break down step by step how this played out. And how I had no idea that that's what was coming. And laws of your jurisdiction. This is not legal advice, but generally speaking, from past experience, I can tell you that it says in there that the weapons restriction applies with people that share intimate children. Skip ahead a little bit to the point where I got. Well, I appreciate that. I didn't think he did. I was at the beginning of this live. I was watching an anonymous dude live. That's funny in a way. And sniping it. Well, all of a sudden, he was talking about, and you can go back to AD's lives, hopefully, if he still has it up. He was talking about how Joe Barron, who's somebody who AD claims is obsessed with him, completely not Joe Wall, but Joe Barron. And pretty sure I said Joe Barron. And if I didn't say Joe Barron, I said Joe. And seeing as how AD just spoke on who Joe was, I don't see how it could have been confused. So I got gaslit right off the bat by Scooter with that. So who the fuck? What the hell you want, dude? As you can see immediately, I have no idea why he would be here.
Hey, yo. Well, you said Joe. The link open for Joe, so I just wanted to see how you were doing. My name's Joe. I mean,
Gaslight. Joe Barron, man,
what
over
happened?
at AD's, but it was
I'm
Joe Barron
I'm
I was
sorry,
talking about.
Oh,
I'd call
dude, I
you
swear to God,
Scooter.
thought
I
you were
wouldn't call.
talking. Oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't. I mean,
So
unless you've made any videos or you ain't even thought about taking any recent
no,
videos down about me. So no, yeah, exactly.
no, we could, but what? But hold on, we could do that.
We
But hold on,
could
what's
do
going on with
that.
AD? Talk to me, because I'm yeah.
Anyway,
I'll tell
what's
you in
going on with AD? I'll tell you in the private chat, and I'm assuming it's always a trick. Try to get me to fucking fuck up. I ain't stupid though. They know it. It's what they can't stand. They wish I was just 10% dumber. If I was 10% dumber, they would have me in the palm of their hand. That's what's scary. Fucker, you got on that panel and said work verse. That's what's scary about, these people, them coming across somebody that is not, I'm not gonna say that is dumber or anything like that, because no one's dumber than someone else, but there are different levels of intelligence, and there are different levels that people can be manipulated at, and they come across or target somebody that's just a little bit lower in cognitive ability, they could really do some damage to them. Strong. Obviously, just to fuck with me, but if it was just to fuck with me and you didn't take it seriously, like, and it's so funny he said that, because here just 2-3 weeks ago, when I was cool over at his place and I hadn't made that first critical live on him, uh, and I tried to get up on panel so he'd interview and let me share some of my story, which come to find out Wade and other people's done on him, who he's completely disrespected and everything else, but yet he can't do it for me. And he's like, oh, I ain't got nothing to do with them. They're so far, it's not even related. But then he's talking about it. And I've been saying that same shit. But yeah, what I sent you in the private chat, I'm 99.9% sure and it's just like, I felt like he was doing it for one or the other. You know what I mean? Because you never know, like, what someone's intentions are behind it. But the whole story with how when I came around
yeah,
and
yeah.
everything, and what I was hearing from Creek and Fusion and everybody else's channels, and like I wasn't the only one that believed and was suspicious. It's not that I knew, but I believed and was suspicious that Johnny might have been like a pedophile because they had that video of his daughter or stepdaughter or something singing to him some song or something. Like I remember seeing it, and the song was like sexually based. And maybe it wasn't about Johnny, and the person that showed it just lied. That could have been the fact. I don't know, but they said it had her dad tagged in it, and it was weird.
But to be fair though, bro, like kids that age and TikTok, they be doing all type of crazy shit, bro. I come in from work and I'll fucking come in and my two daughters are fucking like making TikToks in it, and I guess you could.
And it's weird. He's kind of like almost defending that because I said that, but technically I remember the video was of a younger person singing a song about "Come on, turn them over, turn them lights down low," and you know, it's just not a song you sing to a parent or step parent or anybody. So it's weird. Like Scooter kind of is rationalizing for Johnny almost unexpected.
See it in an explicit way, you know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying he is or I don't know. You know, I don't give
Oh
no
no,
fucks
he's
about
not.
shit
I
about
know he's
Gobble.
not. No, see now when he done that right there, that seemed more like a trick too. Like no, 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 no. Ain't nobody here saying he's a pedophile. I'm saying he definitely isn't. I'm saying that we were suspicious that he was originally. It came out he wasn't. It came out that people had just regurgitated shit they heard and had no confirmation. He's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
100% not.
Right,
He's
right.
not like convicted. He's not. I'm not gonna be like Workyverse or somebody that does me who calls me pedophile or a kid diddler, which is another like generic term of calling somebody the P word, just not saying the P word. It's almost as if she's scared or somebody's scared to actually call me that derogatory word when I'm not, because that is majorly suable. Um, so no, I'm definitely, and it's not even about that. It's about truth. And the fact of the matter is, just because maybe I don't get along with Johnny or whatever, doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and call him things that he's not, or I'm gonna try to twist the path. That's why that's what fucking floors me about how AD and all them just assume I'm no good or something. Why? I mean, because it's not like I change shit and just lie pathologically. Like I keep, and when people bring up something from the past or whatever, I try to, and if I think and bring it up wrong at first, then it gets corrected, and I remember it, I'll do it. And if I don't remember it, I still 9 times out of 10 take the other person's word for it because usually I don't think or try to think anyone's got any reason to lie. I guess I'm kind of gullible that way. Convicted. Do you know if his
Here's
dad is?
Do
Because
you
he
want to
talks
know what?
about his dad
Yes,
sexually
yeah,
abused.
I do know. Do you want to know why Gobble has me blocked under all?
Nah, he says he does know, but he never says if he is or isn't.
Fucking accounts always. So he puts out this narrative that I came to Paintsville and that I fucking interviewed his dad.
Yeah, you came to his dad, got him some beer. Yeah, I know.
He knows. First off, I haven't had a drink in over 15 years. The last thing I do is buy anybody alcohol. I don't even allow alcohol in my house, and my child is over 21, and I don't allow it. So I would never. So that's.
I'm glad that was kind of added in and slipped in there because it just shows that I'm not the only person that's above mature level or age who is having to still live with a parent or family member. It's a widespread country issue. I mean, you can look up videos about it. That's another thing that pisses them off because they know or they should be aware and know with inflation, the price of everything, and how things are today compared to they were 20, 30, hell, 40 years ago. You know, back then, one person could they wouldn't be rich or super comfortable, but they could make it all right, and with one child or two-parent home with two child can make it pretty good. It ain't like that anymore. It hasn't been like that in probably 2.5 decades.
Or if you just know me, you already know that's not true. But two, think about it,
Well,
bro. But
neither
listen,
my granddad wouldn't be down with it
if
either, bro. But I
if
wouldn't
I,
disrespect him like that.
if if I would have went to Paintsville, people would have known, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It was his. I don't want to say her name because there's like court
You don't
cases and stuff,
you
but it
you
was the
don't mind
one
me
girl.
saying? Yeah, I know who you're talking
Huh?
about. If you don't mind me saying, you said you have a 21-year-old in your or above 21-year-old
22. Yeah,
child.
my son. Yeah, it's 22.
You see what I'm saying? Like, man, it's not just like it's even these younger generations. Is with each generation, man. Like, kids are having to live way longer than they used to. That's why I get pissed off when people talk about, oh, you live with your grand. I don't do it out of necessity. I don't do it out of want or laziness or anything like that. I do it out of
Did you
kind,
see the cash apps that you got? Did you
and
see
if
those yet?
no, did you see the cash apps? See, he's really trying to butter me up. There was nothing but one cash app. It was for $7.20, and I refunded it to him. No cap. Not only did I refund it to him, I blocked him, so he cannot send me any more cash apps again. I don't need money from Scooter Beggins. No, I need to look. Why would he want to send
Yeah,
me cash apps?
I
Also,
sent you a cash app.
let me check it real quick. Hold on.
Yeah,
But
go ahead,
you
go
know
ahead.
how immigrant families, man, and what I learned from my Muslim friends I met in Nashville, which I was raised, Christian and stuff. So, and then with the whole 9/11 thing, I was a little, I ain't gonna lie, I was not, seems like more,
He's like learning all that, doing all that. I don't even, what would you call that? Working in a scrapyard, I think. But it's
well, no, I mean,
working on.
like in the trades, was he trying to get like
He did
electrician?
electrical.
I
Yeah.
didn't remember Clarksville or
Shout out to
Nashville.
the 901. The Clarksville is what got me there. Because long story short, my brother married a
Yeah,
woman.
901 and 615. Yeah, man, I lived in Antioch. And if you know Nashville, you know
I
Antioch's
lived
like
I
one
lived
of the
in
roughest
Madison.
parts.
I lived in Madison, which
Okay.
is pretty
Yeah,
much the roughest
that's
part.
not too, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Madison and
Gallatin
East
Road. You remember
Nashville.
you remember Gallatin Road? It's like the main it's the
Yeah,
main big
I
road
know
in
Gallatin
Madison.
Road
And
and
there's a
there's
mall
Gallatin,
there,
Tennessee.
Riverdale. There was the Riverdale Mall or whatever there
Thought
and
you'd about to
fucking
say River Oaks. You remember
and
River Oaks?
I worked at the Lowe's right there. I think the Lowe's has changed now where it was, but when it was on Gallatin, I used to actually work there. Yep,
They
Nashville.
built a new while I was in high school, I don't know if you were still around in there, probably not, but they built a new place right next to.
Be over there too. I'll be over there too. Go hit the link. I'm going right now.
So he sends me a cash app for $7.20 to go hit JM's link. And there's no one over there except for JM and Scooter Filthy. And I'm jumping up there thinking, oh, okay, Filthy's going to be on there. I wonder what this is about. Well, I paused the video as it was live, and as soon as I paused it, like Scooter had just got back over there. So must when I paused it, Scooter said he's coming, and because I know he said it in the chat, and Filthy jumped down, and we'll let it play from here. All right. Oh God.
Lowe's right there. I think the Lowe's has changed now where it was, but when it was on Gallatin, I used to actually work there. Yep.
They built a new. While I was in high school, I don't know if you were still around in there, probably not, but they built a new place right. So this is me sharing the audio from the stream already without, because I'm gonna decide to put that all solo. Right next to Antioch, uh, called Cane Ridge, and because like
Yeah. All right.
there I go. So now I'm on JM stream.
All right. What's up?
And we're looking at the backstage part of JM stream, and that's what's recording here. So let me make it big. Oh, filthy! Why'd filthy leave? Some of these comments are hard for y'all to see, but I will be reading them.
He'd been up here for a minute.
At least the ones that are bad.
He didn't say anything. He just said he was going to bounce.
I did quit smoke funny because he comes right on back. Menacing threats, but when I went on this taper, I thought, well, I still got a medical card active, so I'd be stupid not to fucking. What happened to Scooter?
I don't know. He'd probably hit the wrong
Anyways,
button. He'll be right back.
Yeah, menacing. I thought it'd be stupid not to utilize it.
Oh, he must. Yeah.
Fucking 20 or nothing, and
oh no, my son had
because I mean, telling every detail, never learn. Well, you asked me a question. I heard about him, with the wet mouth comments and stuff, but something to that effect.
He's gonna take the buns.
Yeah, he could try.
Your boots.
Yeah, shit, he ain't gonna get this booty.
Fucking square.
Yes, I Twisty. It's books for.
Being nice lately, brother. Like I've been.
Well, I haven't really seen you around. No, honest. I figured you were working and stuff. I didn't know what you were getting going on. Y'all been pretty disrespectful yourselves, so. I'm always right, Square. That's the sign of a narcissist for Jackie to say that. Even I don't believe I'm always right.
Square, I've been being nice lately, bro.
Like, I know I'm not always right.
Brother, like I've been
well, I haven't really seen you around. No, honest. I figured you were working and stuff. I didn't know what you were getting going on. Like, I haven't watched you. Yeah, I haven't, but I just want to say, like, I haven't watched you, Fusion, any, like, not, I mean, I just haven't been paying attention. Like,
Square, do you want to know where I've been for the last 2 weeks?
No, where? I mean, sure, if you want to share it.
I've been in Kansas City.
Oh, okay, yeah, go Royals.
Well, I'm just here for work, but I'm just saying I've been here for 2 weeks. Yeah.
They got you traveling?
I was gonna get up. Yeah, I travel all the time. That's why I made the initial phone call. I was gonna try to get you into talking to you, and if you wanted to fucking go out for a bite to eat or something. I was being 100% authentic and genuine.
I didn't get the phone call. Yeah, and see, that's a play on words that I used, which I was, it's just how I talked, and that's how I rolled. But that's what I told about them when I first came around them, and they were discussing Johnny and Durkee only. Like, I was trying to be nothing but authentic, genuine, and expected the same. And so when they use stuff like that, and I watched here in hindsight, I'm like, I'm always glad that things did not go how they planned, because had they done so, I might have gotten really fucked up or something, or gotten into trouble somehow, or what have you. Oh, my phone was probably on, not ignore, but what's it called? Do not disturb. And I probably got you blocked. If I don't have you blocked, then I got the voicemail, and I haven't heard it. I had no idea. I put that on my Mimi. I'm just
it's all good.
Like, I ghosted you without even realizing I probably ghosted you. That's the thing.
Word. Yeah, man. I knew I was gonna be out here, so I was like, fucking, if he likes and really wanted to hang out. Do you think I would invite you out to eat and then punch you in the face? Like I wouldn't do that to you, bro. Like come on.
Yeah, I do. Well,
I really wouldn't do that.
that's all right. I mean, either.
Think about how cool it'd be just to have a couple selfies with each other and then post them.
Yeah, he'd love that to be able to sell some T-shirts and shit. Yeah, you might think it's cool. Some genuine, like, square selfie shirts that go for pretty high dollar. Be a lot better than cropping the photo onto a picture of him next to himself or something.
I was gonna say I'd make the fucking greatest thumbnail ever, bro.
Why can't I delete?
Oh, it'd be cool.
How the fuck? No, it'd be cool. Like he put it like, "This is me in the fucking junk box," or channel names in there. Like, because I try to delete. I try to go out of my way to delete the channel for JM. Always trying to show that, hey, I'm willing to try to do this or that, and to try to make things better, but they're not. It's not true or exact on every scene, but that's a scene and that is a true part of the story, that he did get caught in the bathhouse. He didn't get caught in the act, but he left, and he had been in there 2 different times, and the guy noticed. He said each time this guy comes in, he slips him a Mickey and he leaves him. And that's because he wasn't trying to kill him. He was, he had that obsession with wanting to be close to another person and them not leaving. And so when he learned, I don't even think he knew what a bathhouse was, but when he moved to Milwaukee, they had them. And so he started going to them when he met dudes in bars, and they introduced them to him. And he was like, well, this is a way I can drug somebody, keep them with me the whole time, and then leave and do it all over again. And he'd leave, and they'd sometimes be about ODing, wouldn't breathe and shit. And that he got caught or 2 different occasions, people couldn't breathe, and after that he was kicked out.
What's your fascination with
I just like looking up the because I'm about to do the David Koresh thing. What I'm about to do is do a whole thing on the Waco.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Like, and what I'm doing, I'm watching the Netflix series, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take screenshots from the Netflix series, certain clips, and I'm going to try to do it like the other bigger channels, that way I don't get a copyright. Like, it won't be a live, it'll be a video. You
gotta go back and watch Waco and then watch David, the other one.
Well, I'm watching I'm doing it basically on the Netflix one because it supposedly has never before seen footage.
I know they had one a while back that they did, but and they're supposed to do another one on Randy Weaver.
Yo.
Hey.
Scooter, I got this mark, trademark.
You know who that is, right?
Scooter, I could get you for trademark on it. It's just shit. The only thing different is the scooter and the media and the background. That skull.
Pretty good job, huh? Don't lie, you like it. Don't lie, you love it.
No, man. Like, I guess imitation is the sincerest form of flattery to some people, but not me.
You know who Randy Weaver is, right?
Bro, you gotta love it. I'm sorry.
I know that they no. Hold on, Tennessee knucklehead. You say David Koresh was a kitty diddler. As far as I know, he was alleged.
He was.
Wasn't he killed? How do they know that for sure? I'm not defending him. Listen to this. I don't know. I'm 30 years old, right? Waco happened when I was born, literally. I don't know all that about it, but from what I heard from Alex Jones, who I used to listen to growing up, about the whole Waco thing and the way it's handled, you can't deny they handled that shit fucked up. They could have got him when he left, or they could have handled it 1,000 different ways in the ways they've handled it, and that's why I'm covering it.
Well,
it's just about as bad. And you know what led to it, right? Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge happened.
That's who Randy Weaver is.
Randy Weaver didn't do anything but sell a fucking sawed-off shotgun to an undercover ATF agent that bugged him about it for fucking months, and he got fucking probably tired of hearing the dude in his ear and was like, "Here, take the fucking thing and go." And then they came in there and they shot his kid, shot him, shot his wife. You know that was fucked up. I mean, that's why
Koresh was.
You know that he was cleared of everything and his family got money. Not Koresh, but Weaver.
Yeah. Yeah, that all happened when I was in school. Koresh was screwing the young girls of the people that he took in.
I don't deny that. Like, I don't deny that because he's a cult leader, like, obviously. Like, I've never denied that or saying that. But I am saying that as far as kids, I don't know. But young adults, young women, yeah, I believe that.
Well, there was a couple that were not quite 18 yet when they got pregnant with Koresh's
and
kid.
Yeah, that is not a minor. So yeah, but when I hear, look, I know it's the same thing as a kid, but you can't argue that it's not more depraved the younger a person chooses as their victims, you know. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, was he a kid fuck type person, or did he just mess with like barely legal teens? Is what I'm
Well, I
asking.
mean, I got kids, so look, either way to me,
Either way, it's fucked up. Yeah, it's still fucked up. Don't get me wrong. I'm just wanting to know the details because I'm about to do a whole series on it, and I don't want to say anything that's not, you know. So that's why I'm asking y'all, because y'all are older. Y'all might know or have seen 14-year-olds. Okay, Wacky Jackie. Well, if Wacky's saying they're 14-year-olds, I'm gonna be checking into that. No, there's not a fucking difference. I'm talking about the depravity, Jackie. See, y'all take everything I say fucking out of context. I ain't up here defending his ass. God damn.
Yeah, Koresh was a whole piece of work, and he thought he was Jesus.
I know that. He's fucking obviously unhinged, crazy, lunatic. If he was fucking with anyone under 18, yeah, he was a fucking kid diddler. Okay, I will agree with that. I'm just wondering and asking, did he fuck with the actual little children? I'm not an idiot, and I'm not speaking on shit I don't know. I said, oh my fucking God, I'm just gonna drop it with y'all too. Go ahead, y'all.
I know some people that went to Waco current day. They went 2 years ago after all the McCamey Manor stuff and all kind of wrapped up. And they went and did an interview with the guy who's out there now at the compound.
Let me get some updates on Gene and all. What were they saying? What was all that stuff about the McCamey Manor? Because it seemed like you were against it, and then now they're alleging like you weren't.
It was all bullshit.
Yeah, they didn't do any research of their own, and they want somebody to hand it to them. I started out going against McCamey Manor. That's how I got my start on YouTube. Was a group going against McCamey. Russ McCamey can't stand me. He says that I'm the firefighter that got him inspected and shut down for 2 weeks because he thinks that I had something to do with it. He still got me blocked on fucking Facebook. But Russ was or still is a guy that run an extreme hunt in San Diego, and he moved to Tennessee. And when he moved to Tennessee, he met up with a group of people that were starting up an extreme hunt of their own.
I remember hearing that it had a start in Tennessee and now it's in California.
Other way around. He was in San Diego and he moved to Tennessee because he got kicked out.
And it's still,
he couldn't afford the taxes on his house.
Is it still operational?
But let him tell you. Let him tell you, Square. Listen to what he's got to tell you, because you're going to hear how bullshit.
I just wanted to show you this. Active. I wanted to show you this scooter. This strain is really good. I don't know if you've heard of it before. It's made in 2020. If you've grown it.
No, not.
But it's got.
Check it out.
It's got.
I'll check it. I'll check.
It's got a 25% and 2% terp level, and that 20. You may think 25% is not as good as 30, but that terp level is what's the difference from what I've heard.
No, that's good. But listen.
Yeah, my bad, Jay.
Listen to Jam. Let him.
Go ahead.
So Kata Silvas
it's a tick of mine.
with.
Who is that? Kata Silvas?
That's the people my wife was on that panel with. You got the screenshot of. It was an extreme haunt that she was a plant in. She was planted in the show on purpose because they had a 6-person show planned. One of the people that was supposed to be in it dropped out last minute, like on Thursday when we were supposed to be there on Friday for the show. So my wife was put in last minute as a plant because they needed somebody to fill the spot. I was working with them. I did their live streams for them. I was doing their YouTube live streams. When they would do a show, I would go live and we would bring them up. They would come live like every 30 or 40 minutes and just show bits and pieces of what they were doing to the contestants. And then we would, the rest of the time, just talk about how much longer we thought. No, not Russ. That didn't work with Russ. This is nothing to, Russ can't stand them either.
So this is another group that did sort of similar, but not as extreme as Russ.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to get it off.
After all that shit come out, there was a guy that came up on my panel. His name was Anthony Silvis. He was one of the people that was in Cadus Silvis. And he told the story of how Russ and the whole McCamey Manor thing split off from Cadus Silvis because they didn't want anything to do with him after when they first met him and seen what he was about.
Okay, let me just, if you don't mind, let me say this. I wanted to wait till you got done. Yeah, it's a tick of mine, guys. I do interrupt people sometimes. You don't have to, like, I gotta say, you have some of the most rudest fucking, like, I mean, I know I'm rude and shit.
Don't even look at chat. Don't look at chat. Don't look at chat.
Down on
listen, pay attention to him and don't even look at chat.
Yeah, but anyways, go ahead with the, so, Kay Silvis and them, they were doing the haunt. And where were they, if you mind me asking, out of Tennessee?
They're in Tennessee.
I mean, where at? Can you tell me the specific location?
Lewisburg.
Lewis. Okay, I don't know where that's at. It's one place.
And Russ lives in Somerton.
I've heard of Somerton.
It's all south of Nashville.
South of Nashville. Okay.
Like Lewisburg is just over the state line from Alabama, and Somerton is a little further up.
So are you close to the top?
Nashville.
Are you close to the top of the state line like that? Is that how you sort of got close with these?
I'm in the middle, but I met up with them because I started in a group that went after Russ, and now that group that went after Russ is my Facebook group. I'm the admin of it with like 16 or 1,700 people in it.
And so he's still going, and obviously now I'm talking about Russ now, kind of switching gears. He's still going, and I know that he, from what I've looked, because I did look into some of it after seeing the brief stuff I think I saw on yours, but like he takes dog food as the donation, and no one's ever hit the $10,000 mark. Is that correct? Because technically, the conspiracy or the allegation I heard was that he would never let anyone get that far, even the few people that
moves the goalpost.
Even people that were crazy enough to want to, and you know. Well, I'm not gonna call him crazy. I don't want to call him crazy, but no, not him. I'm talking about the participants. I'm just gonna say that they were. I mean, it's a lot of money all at once for a lot of people. I know it's not for everybody, but 10,000 is a chunk of change if you get it at one time. So I can understand them doing it, and also him selling it as the allure to test their endurance and mental stuff and all that. But then you get that fucking waiver, and it's like it's almost kind of like science. It's like Scientology in a way. It's a bait and switch with the whole billion-year contract. Like I was foolish to sign that shit. I mean, but I double checked and at least did make sure that it wasn't like a binding legal contract. And it was
Russ is a black job, and I've got some pictures of what he did to a woman when he was in San Diego.
Oh, I saw one of the woman contestants that came back. I saw one that came back a second time. I forgot her name, but I mean, it's just put it that way. So you're saying he stopped finally voluntarily?
No, he stopped doing the money thing because nobody's gonna win.
Well, that's kind of
Okay.
rigged. I'm saying it's rigged. How are you going to stop something because you say no one's going to win, but not leave it up for them in case they do?
This is one of the girls that went through San Diego. She's on the flight right here going to San Diego to do the tour. She's headed out. I did an interview with her, like on my channel. I
You
hid
know
all the
what?
shit because they
You know
started like trying to dig up all the stuff on me. So I hid everything, but I
something
did the
wacky,
interview
bitch?
with her.
You can shut the fuck up for real. Just how like Petey and stuff, they don't ever change their shit. I went out of my way to change something to JM's, and you always got to take a shot. Like fuck you.
Whoa.
Kiss my ass.
Oh, wacky? Nah.
This is her
Come
after.
on, Squizzy. Wacky's my family, yo.
Oh, well, no offense to you, but your family is acting out of order. But damn, I'm watching what you're doing.
It is, yeah. It was fake money. He bought the money that he showed on his like lives when he would show it. It was money he bought at Trans World. I know
Movie
a guy
theater,
that was
movie,
there.
movie theater money.
Yeah, it was fake. Yeah, it was Halloween. It was a Halloween.
Start say, I hope it
Halloween
wasn't.
get together in St. Louis.
Hope he wasn't dumb enough to use actual counterfeit money. He could fuck around and end up on
No,
the Secret
he just
Service.
showed it. It was fake money because a friend of mine was there with him when he bought the money to use because he bought a stack too. My friend bought a stack. It was 2 stacks of $10,000 each, and my buddy bought 1 stack of $10,000. It was all fake though.
Well, I got this person. Obviously, the fact they have to go to a hospital afterwards, that's just messed up.
Before, after, before, after.
God.
That's crazy. Damn.
What's that you got to say to me, Square?
Kiss my ass.
No, thanks. It's only allowed dogs there, remember?
Yeah, you sound really good.
Yeah, you sound real smart sitting up here saying David Koresh wasn't a kitty diddler. You should fucking
I
know.
did not say that.
You
God
should
damn
know.
it. You should
know.
know.
You exactly
I should know
said
something
it.
that
Should
happened
we
when I was
rewind?
1
You
year old.
exactly
I should
said
know
it.
something. So I should know something that when I was exactly fucking barely 1 year old yet. Yeah, I
you
should know all
because
about
you're
it.
a kitty diddler. You should know because you're a kitty diddler.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep saying that shit, bitch.
Kitty pics, kitty pics, kitty pics.
Kitty, as in kitty, like pussy, is a lot different from kid.
Dude, no one sits on a live and talks like that to see cat pictures. No one.
Okay,
you
yeah.
can't tell me
all
that
right.
cringy little voice was for someone
Cringy
to
little
send you a
voice.
picture of fucking
Yeah.
Milo.
So this is what all the hell, I'll refund the 720 back to you.
No,
Because
it's okay. I'm leaving,
I
but
do
you call
not
me a
I
fucking
don't
bitch
fucking
again, and I will knock on your
bitch.
door, you little faggot. I will.
Bitch.
I ain't scared of you.
Hey, listen to me, little fucking junkie. You don't
Fuck
raise your
you.
voice to a fucking female. You worthless
I'll
piece of
raise my
shit.
voice. This is a
Fuck
panel.
you,
We're not in
faggot.
person, and she's
Knock,
not acting
knock,
like a
Fuck you,
female.
faggot.
So there's 3 things right there you're struck down
Fuck you,
against.
faggot. Can you
Fuck
count
you
to 3?
too.
Are you that fucked up?
Yeah,
you
all
get
of you jump on
Don't
here. We
worry.
gotta have
We
one. We
got
gotta
it
have
listed on
one.
the website as
We
a
gotta have
diddler.
1, 2, 3.
We've got
Yeah.
you on
Shut
the
up,
website.
Yeah, what's your real
Square.
name? What's your real name so you can be sued for it? You don't want to say it,
Come
do
get
you?
that
You
real
fucking
dick.
pussy.
Come get that
Yeah,
real dick.
JM dunked out. I don't want your dick, you nasty fuck. And then let
Oh, I'm the
Taro
only
back
one.
up.
I'm the only one.
Like I
Your
didn't
dick
see this
ain't old
coming.
enough. He only likes old wrinkly dicks.
Right. How's Saul doing? Oh, I forgot he's dead.
But
How's your mom doing?
I thought I was a kiddly. I thought I was a kitty diddler.
You're an old man diddler too, Square.
Spit it out, junkie.
Square, why are you being so rude to Miss Jackie, Square?
I'll be rude to her. She was rude to me first for fucking no reason. I
Knock,
was
knock,
asking goddamn
faggot.
questions.
Respect me.
Yeah,
Open
knock,
the
knock,
fucking
go ahead.
door.
Keep threatening.
Junkie.
Square,
Open
shut
the
up. Your
door
daddy's
and get
talking.
your French
This isn't
fries, you little
engagement.
bastard.
This isn't engagement. This is
You
fucking junk.
goddamn right. We're fully fucking engaged, you fucking faggot.
You
You're
go
my
ahead
fucking
and come.
property,
Hey,
and
I
don't
am
you
not your
forget
property.
it. I'm using your goddamn image, and you're not gonna do shit about it.
Bet you I will.
You're broke. The Jew fucking money is gone.
No, it ain't.
The
Where?
fucking shit
Why
has
did you
fucking
burn me up?
settled.
Where?
No, it ain't.
Swear, if you didn't have pictures that are questionable on
You're
the laptop,
laughing
why
louder,
destroy
you
them?
dumb fuck. You sound so stupid.
Why
Fuck.
destroy
Shut
the
up,
laptop?
faggot.
You shut up.
Why that was a Eisman, give me my respect.
Suck a dick, Bradavan. Suck a dick, Bradavan.
I can
Hey,
get-
Square, why you
I'm
looking up
making-
gay bathhouses?
I'm getting money. I can fucking
Dude,
take care of all this
nobody
shit.
gets
and I will.
fentanyl from a dentist and takes a Suboxone the very next morning.
The
You're a
kitty
fucking
diddler
junkie.
does.
Fentanyl, you dumb fuck. It was used in the
You said it in
intravenous
a
surgery.
community post, you fucking slow-brained retard.
Yeah, in intravenous surgery for anesthesia. Very
Okay,
microgram
and that's
amount.
still, isn't that what
24
junkies
hours
do?
later,
Shoot
and
it
I
up?
was not told that I still
It
not take my
wasn't
medicine.
24 hours
You're not my
later.
medicine, bitch. Shut up. Yes,
Show her some respect, you motherfucking bitch.
I ain't gonna.
It's not about the fucking biscuits.
Fuck you.
I got
Knock,
smacked
knock.
in the face with a biscuit. Ah, people, please
Yeah,
respect
you
me.
bring
I
your
got
ass
smacked
here
in the face.
sometime unwantedly, and I'll smack
Fuck
your ass with
you.
a biscuit,
Knock,
bitch.
knock. Hey, I can be
You
on
You
video
better
of
hope
what I
Mustard
want in
Squirrel
that
don't come
community.
and just pour the
I know
fucking
the
cop to you.
manager.
Yeah,
You're
keep
the
threatening
mother. You're
rape,
the reason
filthy.
your mother
This is
died.
coming from the one fucker that ain't got
It ain't
no
fucking right when you got
balls
your
to
ass
let his
cheeks
real name
shredded,
come
you
out.
little fucking
Ain't
faggot.
got no balls
You
to
ain't
let
gonna
his
pull
name
that
come
shit
out.
on me.
He ain't got
They
no
stole my
balls to let his
bath
name come
houses.
out.
You're
He
a
ain't
fucking
got
faggot. You're
no
out searching for fucking dick.
No balls of them all. He's got no balls because he can't.
I tried to get my penis
He's
off.
got no balls.
Oh,
He can't show his
Frankenpenis.
face. He's got no balls.
Oh,
Sammy,
Frankenpenis
the
is on
suicide
cam.
got scratched me
I
because I
tried
tried
to
to
Frank's
get
a base.
Yeah, fuck you too,
I
Eisman.
tried to
You
get
live at
my
home with
penis
your
off.
mom, you dumbass. Go beat her up
You
again.
live at home with your grandpa.
Somebody else.
You live with an
I'd rather
87-year-old
live at home
man
with an
in a
elderly
fucking
person and
suit.
help them than live with my fucking mother.
Yeah, the
I really
same
don't
elderly
look for
lard
mine.
ass that diddled you while
Oh
you was a
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
kid.
yeah. No one said
That's
But
that.
it.
You
I
dumb
thought you wanted to spend one more day with your
Nobody
mother,
said that,
Square.
you dumbass. So shut the
That
fuck
lard
up.
ass diddled you.
No one
and you
said that.
fucking know
Don't
it.
you say that. You go ahead and keep saying that.
He's a lard
What's
ass
your
fucking
fucking
diddler.
name, you
Hey,
cowardly
Square, I got
pussy?
some popsicles in the
What's your
sandwich.
cowardly name, you fucking pussy? What is it?
It
Swear,
wouldn't
how do you
matter.
feel not to
It
have
wouldn't
any
Walter
matter.
friends?
Allen,
You
we
can't
know it's
do
not
nothing.
Walter Allen. You lied to the Gene team and gave them false info and they bought it. We all know
Maybe I
all
did,
about it.
maybe I didn't.
Yeah,
How
maybe
does it
you
feel not to have
did
any
because I
friends,
know you
Square?
did, you fucking squirrel fuck. Rat bastard.
Squirrel, oh my god, oh!
Oh no, not the
That's
squirrel
hilarious.
fuck. You're dying for him to come down there and jump your fucking bones, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm dying for him to fucking just
Obsessed.
keel over. How about that?
Obsessed. All you talk
Yeah.
about is wanting Mustard Squirrel to fuck you.
Oh, yeah,
Every day,
yeah.
5 times
That
a day.
I've
and
always
fucking
talked
diddler
about
shows.
it in that
Please.
sense. You're so
Please
incorrect.
record
You're
it.
out of your mind.
Let's make a snuff movie.
Oh
Hey,
my god.
maybe you'll get
Say
lucky
that?
and Chris
What we
Hansen will
have-
call you
what-
soon.
what we have currently is people that pretended to be cool talking about
Shut the
regular
fuck
stuff.
Oh,
And
never
then they
be
let
cool
these
with
people
you,
jump
fucking
on to me
faggot.
I've
because they're
never-
so scared and
Never,
old
ever
from
have
not
I
having
been
any
cool with
content.
you.
They
I
know
told
I've been
you from
ignoring
day
them this
one.
whole time practically, and they just had
Shut
to
up,
fucking
you
pull
fucking
this
worthless
off. So let's
junkie.
not Memberson say that he did this on his
You
own free
not
will.
engaging. Hey,
Ignoring
Square,
us, you said all our names this morning.
I was on here to talk to 2 individuals originally, not fucking
You
1,
were.
2,
That's
3,
right, you
4,
were.
5.
6, 7.
Oh,
like you always do. You're a
I
fucking
didn't start
coward.
attacking her.
And I
She
sent
started
you,
attacking me,
I
if I
sent
remember
you a fucking
correctly.
care package
Fuck
out
your
today
care package.
with your fucking
Keep
image,
admitting
and you
the
sue
harassment.
me, you little fucking
I will
faggot.
sue
I
you.
dare you.
I will sue
Okay,
you.
Square.
No, you
I
won't.
will sue
Sleep
you.
in my
You
bed,
fucking
Square.
watch
It'll be
me sue
okay.
you, bitch.
Don't
I
cry.
dare you to sue me. You
You
will
watch
never
me.
face me in the courtroom, you little fucking faggot.
Yeah, because you'll
Square,
run
make sure
like
you
the
check
bitch
out
that you
50animal.com.
Because you'll run
Yeah,
like the
I'll
bitch
beat
that
your
you
fucking
are.
ass
And
if I
since
ever
you
meet
go,
you.
and you know what? Since you won't do that, then I'll make a website and everything of you too. We'll see. We'll
it's
see.
okay
You ain't
because
got the
I
money,
work
Bill.
Yeah,
for
but
Good
that's
luck
a
because you
hot
fail at
ass
everything
fuck.
else.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Remove brownie from your penis.
Yeah.
There with
Show
someone
us
who
your
threatened
hands.
to
Where's
rape
that
me.
dog?
I ain't staying on there with someone who threatened to rape me. They got me fucking fucked up. I never said I was lie. No change in my voice after 6 extractions. You want to see my teeth, you dumb fuck? This is fucking stupid. That's one. I'm not showing you all the rest so you can get a bunch of fucking screenshots. I know what you're trying to do. I heal quickly. Plus, they took blood from my IV, which they used and put in the spots where they extracted them and cut them out so they would clot and heal quicker, you dumbass. I didn't have no run of the mill fucking surgery with nothing, with no experts. I cannot believe these fuckers. Let me refund this money back to Scooter Beggins because I don't need it. After I take a screenshot of it to show how it was used to basically try to entice me almost. Like I knew from the very moment he got on here something was up. I didn't know what. And then he kept wanting me to look at the fucking Cash App. I was like, what this fucking piece, what this dude do? Send me like $100 or some stupid shit? 720. Like I'm some gang member. You know, I ain't no gang member. I ain't got no disrespect towards the gang either. I just wanted all these people to originally leave me alone. And now it can never be salvaged for them to sit there and stand by and have the audacity to try to pull at my conscience over being disrespectful towards Wacky Jackie, who is a female, I guess, and you know, if she had never said one to me, if she ain't got nothing nice to say, she shouldn't have said nothing at all. And I simply just put the same shit back on her. I'm glad I made sure to get all this recorded. They are so desperate and so mad that I have not paid them any attention. Sat there and I didn't freak out. All I did was tell Jackie what's hers and what she needs to be told. She's got the audacity to call me a kitty diddler, you dumb fucking bitch. You think I'm gonna fucking sit back and take that shit? I'm gonna sue her ass. I'm gonna sue her. I'm gonna sue them all, and they can laugh and say I'm not ever. You watch, I do. Want to talk about my medicine and this and that and shit. Like they're fucking gonna. I wasn't at no school when that biscuit shit happened. Get that fuck out my chat. Shit happened outside of school, on my fucking street, down the road. All right. I love how I've been open and honest with these motherfuckers about a lot of things, but they still, and then I lie about specific shit and they call me a liar, can't trust anything I say, but yet they fucking still go off every first thing I supposedly say is it's the gospel. That's just fucking funny. I'm sorry, it is. I said there is a difference in the level of depravity in a sense from a person. I wanted to know the type of fucking offender David Caress was alleged as, because he was never convicted in a court of law. All right. So I needed to know. I'm fucking preparing to watch the Netflix series. I haven't even got 5 minutes into the damn thing. So I was asking fucking questions from older people, and what do I get? Fuck all. I'm not gonna sit up on panel with it ain't got nothing to do with truth. That was a fucking bad. The longer I stayed up there, it would have just been used against me as I was fucking engaging. That's all they'll fucking say. And when they fucking actively brought somebody up there who was one of the two people I filed an EPO against, I fucking dropped from the panel. You're damn right. If Fusion had popped up, I would have dropped off from the panel as well. I sure did disrespect Jackie. I actually didn't disrespect her, but told her to fuck off and buzz off for her comments she was making that was disrespectful towards me. What is this idea that a woman has the greater ability to disrespect another, whether they be woman or man, and you aren't supposed to or allowed to say or do anything at all? And I don't mean do as in physical acts. I'm talking about just actions of the mind or, saying something witty back or saying the same thing back or just telling them to fuck off. Fuck you, bitch. She wants to get down and say that I'm this and I'm that when she knows I'm not. And she's doing it she did it specifically to trigger and set me off. And I'm still filled up with adrenaline. I'm just now realizing that. So I can't go back and change how I reacted. But they got me up there and got me felt like I was sitting there and talking about just regular old stuff for a change, trying to ignore the comments as much as they were. I kept trying to ignore them, and she just kept on and on and on. And finally, I said, fuck this shit. And I told her how I felt. And when she came on panel, I didn't run. When anyone else that came on panel, I did not run. I didn't even run when they brought somebody up. But when they bring somebody up there I've taken the EPO against, I'm going to fucking jump off. That's what you do because I don't like that person. Not only do I not like them, I am afraid of them. And I ain't got no shame in admitting that. The dude had the fucking nerve and audacity to say he was gonna rape, beat, rape, and tape me in and tape it all at the same time. Fuck that dude. I have nothing to say to his child abuse charged ass. Fuck him. And fuck you too, Scooter. I refunded your money back and I blocked you, so you can't send me a cash app again. And go out and get something to eat with you, I think I'll pass. Not one person when I went up there, not one, said good looking on what you're trying to do. And for the longest part earlier, back in the day, when I was more susceptible to do that shit like that and get on a panel, I won't do that again. So I hope you enjoyed it, people.
I didn't enjoy anything about it. I'm just glad I got it recorded because we know you'd take it down. I thought earlier, as back to what I was saying, I thought earlier back in the day I was conflicted because I thought these people genuinely believed that I had some issue that they were trying to reverse psychology help me with, as much as I did not approve of the idea, and neither does any medical text or anything. Or professionals. But I can see now that was a complete farce because nobody had anything to comment or say on the fact that I'm trying to get off pharmaceuticals. Nobody. And they actually have the fucking nerve to sit there for the past year now and still to act like that they care about my fucking well-being as it concerns substances. I just had a woman threatening to come to my door. Well, you're not invited, so if you come, you'll get trespassed and anything. If you break in, I have the right to defend myself and property. And just because you're a woman, don't mean that I wouldn't be in fear in my life if you came here. No, I'm not trying to set up that scenario. I don't want you coming here, so do not come here. I probably wouldn't have to take. I wouldn't need to take an act with a bat or anything and protect myself. I'd just fucking call the police or use a fucking doorway to keep or chair or whatever, keep her away from me. She ain't gonna come anyways. It's just a fucking trigger tactic. See, I'm all fucking riled up now. That's great. Next thing you know, I'm gonna have fuck. No, I don't take numbers from that state. Sorry. I ain't got nobody to talk to from that state. So
Welcome back to the Johnny 50 channel. As many of you know, I've been filming cops for well over 5 years in and around the Los Angeles area. I've seen thousands and thousands of videos on the subject of police overreach and accountability. There is no other video that I have witnessed that I have derived such pleasure than this video that I'm about to show you. This is Amanda from Pink Camera Magic. This is her YouTube channel. This is where the original video stems from. She's been in the game for quite some time and is quite good at what she does. So if you haven't subbed to her channel, please do so now. The initial incident in question took place on March 18th of 2018, where she was arrested and illegally searched outside of the Cook County Courthouse outside of Chicago, Illinois. I am going to show you a quick clip of her arrest and or detainment. That'll make a lot more sense after you've seen the deposition. And then we are going to watch the 90-minute deposition from Lieutenant Milazzo. I know what you're thinking, bro. I ain't got the time for, listen, I said the same exact thing when I started watching this video. Just start watching the video and hopefully it's going to hook you the way that hooked me. I've never seen somebody be eviscerated quite like this lieutenant. I don't know. I'm Generation X. I'm 56 years old. Everybody in Generation X and plenty of other generations are familiar with the band Leonard Skinner. Did a lot of big hits, Freebird, Sweet Home Alabama. The origin of their name was they had a high school gym teacher by the name of Leonard Skinner, and he was a bit of a ball buster, and this was in the 60s, and the band members were trying to grow their hair long to be like the Beatles. They knew that they were going to be rock stars. They had no plan B, and so they would try to hide the fact that they were growing their hair long. Mr. Skinner wasn't having any of it. He sent many of them to the principal's office. Some of them got sent home, and the word got out around the school of, oh, you got Skinnered. So that is where they got the name of Leonard Skinner. They eventually became friends with Mr. Skinner, and they played a big show at the Coliseum in Jacksonville, and Mr. Skinner came out and introduced the band, which was a great full circle. So I would like to think that Lieutenant Milazzo got Radnered. The civil rights attorney is Solomon Radner. Many of you have probably heard of him. This guy, I have no words. I've heard deposition. I've heard plenty of deposition. I've never heard a deposition like this. This is just this. Hopefully, as I said, this video will give you as much pleasure as it gave me. And so, without further ado, let's get into this.
Hey, ma'am, you know this is a public building?
Exactly, that's why I'm recording it.
It's also a court facility?
Yep.
Which there is a judicial law or judicial order that says that you cannot tape this building.
Can I see that order?
Yes, come on in. We're going to check your IDs too.
Oh, no, I'm not going in.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to run you too.
No, that's all
We're going
right.
to get your name. We're going to do a report and everything. So come on in.
No.
No, yeah, you're going to come in now.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
Because right now you are doing something suspicious.
That's not a reason to detain anybody.
Well, it is for Dana. Come on.
It's really not.
Let's go
So
inside,
I'm just going
man.
to stay here and continue recording.
Okay. You're going to come in and we're going to find out who you are and what you're doing here.
No, you're not.
Okay. All right, who's got cuffs? She does not want to go agreeably. Okay.
I'm being detained for just taking pictures of the building.
Yes, ma'am. You're doing something suspicious, and we need to know who you are and why you're doing it. Okay?
Are you familiar with the First Amendment?
Yes. I am.
Really? What's
Let's
your
go
hands
in.
behind your back?
Come on.
Wow.
I tried to do this nicely. You are aware of Homeland Security, right?
Will the court reporter please swear in the witness?
Do you want to raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Do you recognize the young lady seated to my right?
Yes.
And who is she?
Amanda Burquest.
And when did you come to know her?
March of last year.
And how did you come to know her?
We observed her outside. We stopped her and detained her
Why'd you detain her?
for suspicious activity.
What crime did you suspect her of committing?
We suspected her of violating the judicial order, videotaping in and around the building.
And did you say and around the building?
Yes,
Does the judicial order actually say the words and around, or is that your own words?
that was what we were told at the time.
Who told you that?
I don't recall.
Well, it's very important to know, so I need you to really dig deep and try to remember who told you that the policy is to detain people taking pictures outside of the building, please.
I'm going to object. It was just asked. It was just answered. He said he doesn't remember.
What could you do to help us to help yourself remember?
Objection vague.
I'd like an answer.
I don't know.
Are there any emails you could look through?
Not that I can recall.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
It was just a standard policy dating back to after 9/11.
So you received some sort of training, or was it a phone call? How is it that you first learned after 9/11 that you're supposed to detain people taking pictures outside of the building?
That was the policy that we were told back then.
Back when?
After 9/11,
Okay, so you were told this in 2001,
approximately.
and you haven't been told that since?
Not that I can recall.
How many other people that you can think of have been detained for taking pictures outside of the courthouse since 2001?
I couldn't answer that.
Any that you can think of?
There have been other reports done, yes.
Okay. When's the most recent one that you can think of?
I don't know.
And your testimony is that you were told there was a written policy. How is it that this policy was conveyed to you that you're supposed to detain people outside of the building taking pictures?
It was just a standing policy we had.
Did you hear my question?
Can you repeat it?
Sure. How is it that you became aware of the policy? Did somebody tell you? Did somebody post it? Was it an email?
Far as back I remember, it would have been the Chief Deputy Robert Beavers.
Okay. And when would that have been?
After 2001.
Where's Robert Beavers now?
He's dead.
When did he die?
I don't recall.
Did he only tell you, or did he tell other people also?
No, it was in, I don't know if it went out at a meeting or something like that. I don't really recall.
But you definitely recall that however it is he told you, he included that you're supposed to detain people taking pictures outside of the building. Right?
If they were, yes.
All right. Was there anything in writing about this?
I don't recall.
All right. Have you discussed this case with anybody else in preparation for today other than your lawyer?
No.
All right. Have you reviewed anything?
Just my offense incident reports.
You didn't review the actual policy or the judicial order that you referred to?
No.
Okay. Have you looked at the judicial order since March?
Somebody. Are you referring to officers?
Anybody. Does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference? Explain your answer. Tell me for an officer and tell me for a non-officer.
Okay. For an officer, if we're detaining somebody, we're going to cuff them for officer security. That's procedure and policy and training.
So even if it's an unlawful detainment, you're saying it's not a crime to do so because they're an officer?
Are you asking me for this situation?
Let me ask you this. If an officer detains somebody because the person's a woman, is that legal or illegal to do that?
I'm gonna again object. Calls for speculation.
I would hope he knows the answer to this.
Your answer is detaining them because they're a woman?
Yeah, that's the reason.
No.
Okay. How about because the person's a man?
No.
How about because the person's white?
No.
Very good. How about because the person's black?
No.
We agree. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you see a non-officer put somebody in handcuffs and he says out loud that he's putting the person in handcuffs because she's a woman, would you arrest that person for unlawful imprisonment? Or for some other crime? Assault, perhaps?
It's possible.
Okay. Tell me why you would not. You said it's possible. I'm assuming that means you might not. Tell me why you would not arrest that person.
It would depend on the facts behind it.
Gotcha, okay. All right, now let's say that person is an officer. So the person is an officer and says, this person is taking pictures and I subjectively feel it's suspicious because the person taking pictures is a woman, therefore I am going to put her in handcuffs. Would you arrest that officer for putting her in handcuffs?
No.
Why not? Not even a maybe? Just a no?
No.
In any circumstance, would you arrest an officer for unlawfully putting handcuffs on somebody?
No.
Is it lawful to put handcuffs on somebody unlawfully?
Again, if you're doing it for officer safety, then no.
All right. Why'd you why'd you look through her purse?
We were looking for ID.
And why were you allowed to look for ID? What lawful basis was there to do so?
Well, we had detained her. We wanted to identify her and do our report.
All right, so just so we're very clear about this, what gave you a lawful basis to search her purse was the detainment, right?
Yes.
If the detainment was unlawful, and I'm not saying it was, I'm just saying theoretically, if a detainment's unlawful, the subsequent search is also unlawful, right?
Yes.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
Depends on the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
No.
She's the only person you've ever arrested?
Yes. And that was a detainment.
Right, but you also said there was an arrest earlier, remember? Do you not remember that?
Okay.
Do you remember or not?
No.
Okay. Well, was it an arrest or a detainment?
We detained her.
Right, and again, just so we're very clear about this, you're making that distinction, but you don't know the difference between the two.
Correct.
Then how do you know it was a detainment and not an arrest?
Because we weren't planning on doing any paperwork or any charging her with any crimes.
Oh, okay. So is that the definition of detainment as opposed to arrest?
We were detaining her for investigation, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And you don't know the Miranda rights?
Not offhand, no.
All right. When you arrest somebody, do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that they have the right to an attorney?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that if they cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer?
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
You've been a lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
Yes.
Did Miss Berquist ever ask for a lawyer?
I believe she asked if she could call her lawyer.
Yes. And after she did that, did you continue to ask her questions?
I don't recall.
Would it be lawful for you to continue asking her questions after she asked to call her lawyer?
I don't know.
Did you tell Judge Felice that she was recording in the courthouse or outside the courthouse, or you weren't specific?
I don't recall. I don't believe we told her she was inside the courthouse.
Are you sure?
I don't know why we would have.
Well, I don't know either. That's why I'm asking you. Are you 50-50?
I don't recall telling Judge Felice that she was filming inside the building.
All right. When you wanted to advise the court that there was somebody who needed to be held in contempt, you did at some point advise the court that there was somebody who you had to bring in front of them, right?
Yes.
And how did you do that? Phone call, email, text message?
Phone call.
Okay, who did you call?
I called the presiding judge's office.
And who was the presiding judge that day?
He was not in.
Who was the presiding judge that day?
Jagelski.
Jagelski. And he was not in?
He was not in.
So who'd you call after that?
I didn't. I talked to his assistant and was informed to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Did you talk to Judge Peter Felice's chambers or to Judge Peter Felice at all?
No.
Okay. So how did you advise Judge Peter Felice's chambers that you had somebody you had to bring in front of him?
I didn't.
Who did?
I do not know.
Did you tell somebody to?
No, I was told to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Okay. What I asked you was, did you tell anybody to tell Judge Peter Felice's chambers that you were bringing somebody his way?
No.
Any idea how Judge Peter Felice knew that you were about to bring somebody up to him?
I'm assuming it went through the presiding judge's office.
You don't know?
I do not know.
I don't want you to assume anything.
I don't know.
Your lawyer probably doesn't either. So you don't know the answer?
No.
When you brought her in front of Judge Peter Felice, you walked into the courtroom and what'd you do? Where'd you take her? Where did you go?
We went up in front of the bench.
We or you?
Well, myself, Ms. Berquist, and Sergeant Larson, I believe.
Didn't Ms. Berquist not go up to the bench? First, you went up by yourself, right? Do you not remember?
I don't remember.
So what did Judge Peter Felice, what was the first thing said in court about Amanda's case?
I don't recall.
There's a report which is signed by Lieutenant Don Milazzo. Is that you?
Yes.
It's S018-0002736, right?
Yes.
Bait stamp is CCSAO Berquist 0000021 for the record. What did Judge Felice admonish Ms. Berquist about?
As far as I can recall, about videotaping in and around the building, and if he ever caught her again, he would hold her in contempt.
When you see the word in, do you just automatically assume that the word and around is there too? Or is that special for this case?
That is what Judge Felice said.
Okay, I'm going to hand you what's marked as Exhibit 3. That's your report, is it not?
Yes.
Please read out loud your words of what Judge Peter Felice said, which I highlighted.
Okay. Regarding photography in the building and the security issues involved.
And you wrote this.
Yes.
And you wrote this much more recently than now. Now it's 10 months later, right?
I don't understand your question.
When did you write this? Did you write this yesterday or last week, or did you write this in March when this happened?
March 28th.
March 28th, the same day that it happened, right?
Yes.
Okay, so your memory of what happened in front of Judge Peter Felice was probably better in March 28th, 2018 than it is on January 15th, 2019, right?
Yes.
And what you wrote in your report was that Judge Peter Felice admonished her about recording in the building, right?
Yes.
Why would he admonish her about recording in the building and not around the building or outside the building? Any idea?
I don't recall.
Maybe because you told him that she was recording in the building. Is that possible?
No.
Why would you write this then?
Why would I write what he told her?
Why would he admonish her only for recording in the building?
I recall him admonishing her for in and around the building.
You recall that clearly now, sitting here today?
I recalled the judge telling her that she could not videotape in and around the building.
Was this recorded?
It would be probably on the court transcripts.
I'll indicate for defense counsel, I've been trying to get that transcript or the recording. I don't know if it exists. Obviously, I'd like to hear it or see it. So your testimony sitting here today is that you recall specifically that Judge Felice admonished her about recording in and around the building.
Yes.
Okay. Even though your report says that he only admonished her about recording in the building.
Yes.
You told Judge Felice about the suspiciousness of the pictures and on the video camera, right?
Yes.
Why did you tell him that?
Because of there was pictures of railroad yards, secure areas. There was pictures of buildings, secure entrances. There was pictures of police stations. So those were all suspicious.
Buildings, railroad yards, secure entrances, and police stations are suspicious.
Exactly.
When what?
In all the training that we received after 9/11, those were the things we were told to look out for.
Gotcha. And that creates reasonable suspicion of a crime?
Suspicious activity, yes.
Did you hear my question? You like to say the word suspicious activity. I'm focusing on words that are actually included in the law, in our Constitution.
Okay.
So let's talk about this term reasonable suspicion. Have you ever heard that term before?
Yes.
Do you know if that term has any relation to the Fourth Amendment?
Yes.
Does the term suspicious activity have any relation at all to the Fourth Amendment?
I don't know.
Okay, then let's talk about reasonable suspicion for a minute, okay? Did you have any reasonable suspicion that Ms. Bergquist was engaging in any sort of criminal offense?
No.
Can I ask you what was suspicious about Ms. Bergquist taking pictures outside of the courthouse? What about her was suspicious?
We didn't know why she was there.
Okay.
And we didn't know if, like then, if it had any involvement with a current case that was going on, with a domestic situation that was going on, with security procedures, any of those. We didn't know what she was doing there.
All right, so I'm not asking you what you knew and didn't know. I'm asking you what was suspicious about it.
Because we didn't know what she was doing there.
So what was suspicious about it? Because you didn't know. Who cares what you know? What was suspicious?
The fact that she was trying to videotape the building, we didn't know what she was videotaping, and the fact that she refused to identify herself.
Okay, so if I understand what you're saying that unless you know why somebody's videotaping the court, it is automatically suspicious.
Yes.
Okay, so anybody recording the building, unless you know why, is acting suspiciously, right?
Yes.
And you could detain them, right?
Well, we could stop and ask them what they're doing.
And then if they refuse to provide ID, then you can detain them.
Yes.
Okay. And after this lawsuit was filed, have there been any internal discussions, other than with legal counsel, about that policy?
Just the policy they put out in June.
Exhibit 2.
Yes.
The informational bulletin. Oh, I'm sorry, no, you're talking about policy 172, the one that you believe allows you to detain people based
Correct.
on the subjective belief that they're acting suspiciously, right?
Correct.
Did you ever tell her that she was going to go to jail for 90 days?
I believe we informed her that the judge could hold her in contempt for up to 90 days.
But you never told her, matter-of-factly, that she's going to go to jail for 90 days if she doesn't give you her ID?
I don't recall that, no.
Well, did you or did you not? Or do you not know?
I do not recall that.
Is that something that you would do and say?
No.
Okay. So is it fair to sit here today and tell us that you did not tell her that?
I say I didn't recall.
I know, but what I'm asking you is, I asked you, is that something you would say? And you said no. Isn't that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. So if that's not something you would say, then is it fair to say that you didn't say it?
I don't recall.
So it's possible that you did tell her that she would go to jail for 90 days, matter-of-factly.
I don't recall.
Did you ever tell her that she has choices? And those choices are to either show you an ID or to go to the judge who will hold her in contempt. And then he can hold her for as long as he wants. Did you ever say that to her?
I don't recall.
Is that something you would say?
It's a possibility, yes.
Is that something that's true or is that something that's false?
Could the judge hold her in contempt for
As long as he wants.
An indeterminate amount of time, as far as I know.
Really? A judge can hold somebody for as long as he wants?
Under contempt?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
After you went into your office and Larson stayed by the counter with Ms. Berquist, right?
Yes.
And then after some time you came back out and you said to Larson that the judge is going to hold Ms. Berquist in contempt and put her in jail for 90 days. Do you remember saying that?
No, I don't recall that.
Is that something you would do or say?
No.
Okay. Then, right after you said that, you turned to Ms. Berquist and said, "Is that okay with you?" Do you remember that?
No.
Guess what her response was to you? Do you know?
I don't recall.
Her answer was she's going to remain silent. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
When's the last time you watched Larson's body cam footage?
I don't recall.
Within the past month?
I don't think so.
Okay. In December of 2018?
Again, I don't recall.
Could it have been before it got cold?
I don't recall.
You then told her after she told you she was going to remain silent, you said to her, you realize you're going to Cook County Jail for 90 days. Do you remember saying that to her?
I don't recall.
Is that something you would say to her?
I don't recall.
Then you told her she has an option. Do you remember saying that?
No.
Do you remember what the option was?
I do not recall.
Do you have any idea what that option could have been?
I do not recall.
What option could you have given her that would have made sense? Do you know?
I do not know.
All right. You told her that all she needs to do is show you an ID so that you can do your report, and then you'd let her go on her way. Remember saying that to her?
At some point during this, yes.
Okay. So you did say that to her at some point?
At some point.
Okay. She was detained, and all she had to do was show you an ID, and you would have let her go on her way, right?
Yes.
Would you have let her keep her camera and her footage?
Yes.
But wasn't it suspicious and had to be taken in front of a judge?
But we would have had a documented record of it.
But she would have still had the pictures, right?
Yes.
You then told her that she was obstructing and she's in contempt. Do you remember saying that, matter of factly?
No.
No? You don't remember telling her right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt?
I don't recall that.
Is that something you would say?
No.
Can you think of a reason why you would say that?
No.
You don't get to hold people in contempt, do you?
No.
And she wasn't obstructing anything, was she?
No.
Okay. In fact, she asked you, what am I obstructing? Do you remember that?
No.
And your answer was that you're obstructing us from doing our job. Do you remember that answer?
No.
Okay. Is there any truth to that type of answer?
Yes.
Okay. So she was obstructing you.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe 30 seconds ago, I asked you and you said she was not obstructing.
Okay.
Which one is it? Was she obstructing or not?
She was preventing us from doing our report, yes.
Was she obstructing or not?
Yes.
Okay. She told you repeatedly she does not consent to searches, right?
Yes.
Okay. The only basis you had, we already talked about this, but I just want to make sure the record's clear. The only basis you had to search her purse was the detainment, right?
Yes.
And if the detainment was not lawful, then the search was not lawful, right?
That's legally, yes.
Thank you. You, after you dumped out her purse on the counter, you looked through her wallet, right?
Yes.
And you found an ID.
Yes.
And what did the ID say? What state was she from? Do you remember?
Minnesota.
You're right. You said that on video that she's from Minnesota. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay. And so you knew who she was at that point, right?
Yes.
Why couldn't you let her go then?
Because at that point, the chief judge had already told me to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Well, then why didn't you just look through her purse and find her ID before calling the chief judge?
If she would have cooperated, that's exactly what we would have done.
I don't understand. You told her repeatedly that she could simply give you her ID and she would be on her way, right?
Earlier in the incident, yes.
Okay, so what was the need to bring her to the judge?
Once I contacted the presiding judge's office, I was told to bring her in front of Judge
Why
Felice.
did you contact the presiding judge's office?
For guidance on how to handle the situation.
You knew exactly how to handle the situation. You're allowed to detain people and search them and look through their purses if they're acting suspicious, right? Wasn't that your testimony?
Yes.
So you knew exactly how to handle this. Search her, look through her purse, get her ID. Now you can do your report, let her be on her way. Why didn't you do that?
Because I had already contacted the presiding judge's office for advice, and that's what I was told.
Why did you contact the presiding judge? Why didn't you just look through her purse, get her ID, write it down, take a picture of it, photocopy it, and then let her be on her way?
Because as far as I know, she was violating a judicial order, which came from the presiding judge.
So you had to bring her to the judge because of what she was doing outside, right?
I was told to bring her in front of the judge, yes.
Did you hear what I said? You had to bring her in front of the judge because of what she was doing outside, right?
I was told to bring her in front of the judge because of what she was doing outside.
You were told that after you called the presiding judge.
Yes.
Do you see how there's something in between that? She's doing something outside, you take her to the presiding judge. In between that, you called the presiding judge, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you call the presiding judge?
I needed some type of more or less for advice on how to handle it.
Yeah, but before you called the presiding judge, all you needed was her ID, right?
Correct.
And then you were going to let her go, weren't you?
Correct.
So if all you needed was her ID and then you could let her go, why call the presiding judge? Why not just look through her purse, get her ID, and then let her be on her way?
Because I had already contacted the presiding judge.
Why did you call the presiding judge?
To get advice on how to handle the situation.
We're going in circles here,
Exactly.
and I'm not understanding what your testimony is. You were willing to let her go if you only had her ID, right?
Yes.
Without bringing her in front of the judge, right?
Correct.
Even though she was videoing outside, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why did you call the presiding judge?
Again, I had already called the presiding judge for information on how to handle it, and I was informed to bring her in front of Judge Felice.
Were you lying to her when you told her that all she has to do is give you your ID and you'll let her be on her way? Was that a lie?
That was earlier in the situation, yes.
Was it really? Was it really? Was it really?
Yeah.
Are you sure that you didn't say that to her after contacting the presiding judge?
I don't recall.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. When Larson was with Ms. Berquist by the counter and you went into your office for, 5-10 minutes, that's when you called the presiding judge, right?
Yes.
Then when you came back out, that's after you had already talked to the presiding judge, right? Or the judge's clerk, right?
Yes.
And that's when the judge's clerk or assistant told you to bring Ms. Berquist in front of Judge Peter Felice, right?
No, I don't think they did it right away. I think they called me back.
Got you. Okay. When you looked through her purse, was that before or after you were told to bring her to the judge?
Before.
Oh, so after you searched her purse and you had her ID, you had not yet been told by the judge to bring her in front of the judge, right?
No, I had already contacted the presiding judge, and they didn't give me an answer till afterwards.
Okay, but right before you searched her purse, you told her that if she gives you her ID, you'll let her go. Do you remember that?
I don't recall when that happened.
Do you dispute that?
I don't dispute that I said that. I just don't recall when it happened in the time
How
frame.
would you explain that? Were you lying to her?
About?
If you were not yet told by the judge, if I understand your testimony correctly, until you were told to bring her in front of Judge Peter Felice, you were willing to let her go if she showed you ID, right?
Correct.
Okay. What I'm asking you is, when you looked through her purse and saw her ID, your testimony before was by then the judge had already told you to bring her in front of Judge Peter Felice, right?
I don't recall exact time frame on that.
Okay, well, it's very, very important for us to know this, because what I'm trying to figure out is why you had to bring her in front of the judge. And your testimony was that you were ordered to, right? Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out here is this escalated, didn't it?
Correct.
We started with, show me your ID and I'll let you go.
Correct.
And it ended with, even if you show me your ID, I'm taking you to the judge, right?
At that point, it was out of my hands, yes.
It was out of your hands because you were already instructed to bring her to the judge, right?
Yes.
What I'm asking you is, after receiving that instruction to bring her to the judge, that option for her to just show you ID and walk away was no longer on the table, right?
Correct.
Okay. When you looked through her purse and saw her ID, was that option still on the table, that she could just show you ID and leave?
I don't recall.
Well, it had to have been after, right?
Again, I don't recall the time frame on it.
But if you saw her ID, why didn't you let her go? Was it out of your hands already?
I had already made the call to the presiding judge, yes.
Were you instructed? You said they called you back.
They did call me back.
Right. But before they called you back, you were ready to let her go, but just by showing you ID, right?
Yes.
Okay. So before they made that call back, all she had to do was show you ID and be on her way, right?
It was a short time frame. I don't recall.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you told her just show us ID and you'll be on your way, were you lying to her?
No.
Okay, so every time that you told her just show her your ID and you'll be on your way, you were being truthful, right?
Yes.
Okay. And obviously, every time you said that to her, it was before you were instructed to bring her to the judge, right?
I don't recall.
Well, would you have said that after being instructed to bring her to the judge? Would you have given her the option to just show you ID and be on her way after being instructed to bring her to the judge?
No.
Okay. So is it fair to say that your testimony today is that every time you offered that option to her was before you were instructed to bring her to the judge?
True.
Well, I mean, isn't that your story?
As far as I recall, yes.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make sure I understand this. You give her the option, show us your ID, and you can be on your merry way. Obviously, when you gave her that option, it was before you were instructed to bring her to the judge. Isn't that what we just established?
Yes.
Okay. So when you looked through her purse and saw her ID, your testimony before, and correct me if I'm wrong, was now it's too late because you already have to bring her to the judge because you were instructed to do so, right?
Yes.
Okay. So just so that we're crystal clear about this, you gave her the option, show us your ID, you'll be on your merry way. She said no. You get the call, bring her up, and at some point after that is when you saw her ID, right?
Correct.
Let's take a break.
Hold on. Hold on, record 12:46 p.m.
We're going back on the record at 12:59 p.m.
The other officers who were involved in this, Larson, Barbaro, somebody else whose name escapes me, but is Dorociak, Dorociak. They're all your subordinates, right?
Yes.
They have to listen to you.
Yes.
If they would have at some point said, we shouldn't do this, I'm not going to listen to you, they probably would have been disciplined.
Yes.
Okay. Do you take responsibility for their involvement in this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did anybody else touch the camera from the time you took it away from Ms. Berquist to the time the SD card was given to the judge?
No.
Only you?
Yes.
At any time that you offered Ms. Berquist the option of showing you ID and being on her way, that was before you were instructed to bring her to the judge, correct?
Correct.
And by the time you had already looked at her ID and saw who she was, by then it was too late and you had already been instructed to bring her to the judge, correct?
Correct.
Because if that's not the case, if you had not been instructed, you would have let her be on her merry way, right? After seeing her ID.
If the presiding judge's office had come back and said that they didn't want to be involved, yes.
That's not what I asked you. I asked you before they told you that you should bring them, that you should bring her up. Before that, if you would have seen her ID, you would have let her be on her merry way, right?
At some point in there before I contacted the presiding judge, yes.
There's two different things I'm focusing on. There's when you contacted Judge Degelski's clerk, and there's when you got a call back telling you to bring her to Judge Felice, right? Or was it the same phone call?
I don't recall. I believe I called them. I called my supervisors. My supervisors instructed me to call the presiding judge's office. Presiding judge's office, I believe they told me Jagelski was out and they would get back to me. So at that point, I couldn't do anything.
Which supervisors did you call?
I believe it was Chief Jackson.
Does he still work here?
She is retired.
What did you tell Chief Jackson Miss Berquist was doing wrong?
I informed her that we had observed her doing the videos.
Did you say in and around the building or outside of the building?
I believe outside the building.
That's what you told her? Very important.
Yes.
And even though you told Chief Jackson that Ms. Berquist was observed recording outside of the building, she still instructed you to keep her in custody and bring her to the judge.
She instructed me to contact the presiding judge to see what they wanted to do about it.
And she knew that you had Ms. Berquist in custody?
Yes.
What's Chief Jackson's first name?
Kelly.
When did she retire?
December.
2018?
Yes.
Now, just one last thing and then we'll be done. I just want to get back to this suspicious activity. And the suspicious activity, if I understand it, was that she was recording outside the courthouse. Was there anything else?
No. And refused to give her name, identify herself.
But before you even approached her, would you have said that she was acting suspiciously?
Yes.
Okay, what was suspicious about it? And again, we're talking before you approached her and she refused to identify herself.
Well, when I was called, she was videotaping the front doors of the building.
That's suspicious?
And the deputy had asked her what she was doing, and she said, I don't have to tell you. So yes, that was suspicious.
That's to assert your rights as suspicious?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about Deputy Barbaro? What could have been, do you know what was suspicious prior to him approaching her?
He observed her out there for some time videotaping the front of the building.
What was suspicious about that?
He called for a supervisor.
What was suspicious about that?
I don't know.
If she hadn't asserted her rights, well, let me ask it this way. If she would have complied with your initial demand outside of the courthouse to identify herself, what would you have done?
We would have done our report and let her go.
So you would have written down her ID, maybe taken a photo of it or something. Once you have her identification, you would have let her be on her way.
Yes.
Would you have allowed her to keep recording?
Yeah. To keep recording?
Yeah.
We would have asked her to move to another area away from the open doors.
She was by the open doors?
Yes.
She was blocking the doorway?
I didn't say she was blocking. I said she was by the doors.
Why would you have asked her to move?
Because we don't know if she's videotaping people inside the building or the security post.
What's the difference? Who cares what she's recording? People, security posts. If you can see it from outside, why can't you record it?
I don't know.
You can, under the First Amendment, can't you?
Yes.
And that's what she was doing, right?
Correct.
All right, I don't have anything further for this witness.
Okay, so you said that under the First Amendment, you could videotape the outside of the building, correct?
Correct.
But there's a judicial order that prevents the taping of the inside of the building, correct?
Correct.
And where you observed Ms. Bergquist videotaping, she could see inside the building?
Correct.
Okay. So that's the functional equivalent of taping the inside of the building, correct?
Section 4.
Correct.
And and when you're looking at her, when you're walking out, when you first see her videotaping, you don't know exactly what she can see, correct?
Correct.
You just know that she's taping the entranceway to this building, correct?
Section 4.
And what was the reason that you approached her at that time?
Deputy Barbaro had called for a supervisor. I was the only one available.
And you wanted to investigate why she was taking these photos?
Correct.
And she refused to tell you, correct?
Correct.
And she refused to give any identification?
Correct.
Did that concern you?
We have to do reports, and so yes, it concerned me that there may be videotape of something that could come out later on or with a court case, and we don't have a report on it. Yes, that concerned me.
And there were potential security concerns that you had with her taping the entrance to this courthouse?
Section 4.
Correct.
What were those concerns?
Well, we're responsible for the safety of all the people that are in this building. We have domestic violence cases, we have trials, we have jurors, we have witnesses. So there's a lot of people that come in and out of this building that, if videotaped, could be dangerous to them.
And when we were discussing this earlier, when plaintiff's counsel was asking you about this earlier, you had said that when she refused to answer your question, she was obstructing. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what did you mean by that?
She was preventing us from investigating what was going on and doing a report on it.
And you testified earlier that she was only detained at this point, right?
Correct.
And throughout this incident, to your understanding, she was only detained for the purposes of investigation.
Correct.
And had she simply given you her identification or identified herself, you would have released her?
Correct.
Nothing further from me.
I have a couple of very brief follow-up questions. The thing that you told her you thought she was violating was policy 172, suspicious activity reporting, or was it a judicial order?
Judicial order.
Okay, and the judicial order was something that was put in place by Honorable Timothy C. Evans, Chief Judge, right?
Once we got a copy of it, yes.
Right, and I'm going to hand you that. It's been marked as Exhibit 4. I'm also going to hand you my highlighter again. I'm going to ask you to highlight, please, the portion of this that you felt she was violating.
Okay, again, we did not have this at the time. It took a while to get this.
Right, but this is the order that you arrested her, that you detained her based on, right?
We based it on what we thought this meant, yes.
Right, okay, so tell me what part of that you thought she was violating?
Again, I did not have this in front of me to look at it at the time.
If you leave it blank, that's fine. But if there's something there that you feel was the reason that you detained her, please highlight it.
Okay, I've never even actually seen this order.
Is that the order?
This is not the videotaping camera order. There's another one that they put out. I've never seen that one before.
Okay, so it's not Exhibit 4. Can I have one more, please? Okay, now I'm going to hand you Exhibit 5. This is a 3-page document. Is that the order?
Correct. This is the order they sent us after the fact.
Okay, is this the order that you were relying on when you detained her?
No, I didn't have a copy of this order.
But you mentioned it in order, didn't you?
Because we knew that there was an order out there. I did not have a copy of it.
And you had no idea what that order said?
From past experience, it was that there was no recording in and around the building.
Okay, so that's the way you were trained?
Yes.
Way back from after 2001?
Correct.
After 9/11, you were trained by you said by Chief Jackson. No, by Chief
Beavers.
By Robert Beavers.
Mm-hmm.
You were told by Robert Beavers that what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to detain people for taking pictures outside of the courthouse.
Yes.
And you had never seen the actual order at the time that you placed Miss Berquist in detainment?
No.
All right, I don't have anything further.
I mean, I'd like to follow up and just clarify what you mean when you say detain. When you say that you were going to detain someone for videotaping, what do you mean by that?
Well, when we detain somebody for any type of investigation, we basically take them, handcuff them for officer safety until our investigation is concluded, whether or not charges will be filed.
Okay, I don't have any follow-up. Okay, we're going off the record at 1:15 p.m. This concludes today's testimony by Lieutenant Donald Palazzo. The total meeting.
So, of course, we all know the system works against us. The judge threw this case out and cited that these officers were within reasonable grounds to ask for her ID and do a Terry stop. I can't even. So if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you for making it this far in the video. This is unbelievable. This was one of the greatest videos I've ever seen. Typically, police officers who find themselves in depositions are well prepared and accustomed to the legal process. They often benefit from the support of their legal representation, usually through their union, who work diligently to shield them from intense questioning and mitigate any potential damage. However, in this particular case, Milazzo was subjected to an unprecedented level of scrutiny and relentless cross-examination by a highly skilled civil attorney. From the outset, Radner meticulously probed this officer's knowledge and comprehension of various legal statutes. You can see how well he performed. Constitutional rights and standard operating procedures. This is why qualified immunity needs to be abolished. This guy has been on the force for how many decades, and he doesn't know the difference between an arrest and a detention. This is an absolute abomination. This officer's confidence waned as he stumbled through the responses, struggling to cite specific laws or articulate crucial elements of police protocol. Each faltering answer weakened his credibility, painting a picture of incompetence and ignorance. Thank you all for joining us today and being part of the J50 community. I appreciate your support and engagement with our content. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to find your way back, I kindly ask you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Subscribing to my channel ensures that you'll be the first to know when we release new and exciting content. For those of you who want to take your support to the next level, we also offer memberships to our channel. By becoming a member, you'll unlock exclusive perks and help us continue creating great videos. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.